Welcome back to Now You Know, a playground for the body, mind, and soul. Let's go back in time and count down the top 10 fun facts from the groovy era of the 1970s. Strap on your bell bottoms and get ready to journey back in time. Starting at number 10, on April 22, 1970, the first Earth Day was celebrated, sparking the modern environmental movement. Over 20 million Americans took to the streets to protest environmental degradation. The idea behind Earth Day was simple but powerful, to raise awareness about environmental issues and advocate for positive change. The success of the first Earth Day sparked a wave of environmental activism and led to the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, later that year. Since then, Earth Day has grown into a global phenomenon, with over 190 countries participating each year. Number 9, the iconic movie, Jaws, was released on June 20, 1975, and became the first summer blockbuster, setting the standard for modern Hollywood. The movie, directed by Steven Spielberg and based on the novel by Peter Benchley. Jaws took audiences on a terrifying journey to the fictional town of Amity Island, where a giant man-eating shark terrorized beachgoers. At its core, Jaws is a story about fear, fear of the unknown, fear of nature, and fear of the dark depths of the ocean. But what truly made Jaws a cultural phenomenon was its unprecedented success at the box office. Despite production setbacks and technical challenges, Jaws became the highest-grossing film of its time, earning over $470 million worldwide. Number 8, on October 20, 1973, the Sydney Opera House opened its doors in Australia. This architectural marvel took 14 years to build and is now recognized as one of the world's most famous landmarks with its distinctive sail-like shells. But did you know that this architectural masterpiece had a long and challenging journey from concept to completion? Designed by Danish architect Jorn Utzon, the Sydney Opera House project faced numerous obstacles during its construction, which began in 1959. From budget overruns to technical difficulties, the project seemed destined for failure. Since then, the Sydney Opera House has become a symbol of Australia's vibrant art scene, hosting thousands of performances each year. Its unique design and breathtaking waterfront location continue to attract millions of visitors from around the globe. Whether you're attending a world-class opera or simply admiring its architectural beauty, the Sydney Opera House offers an experience like no other. Number 7, on August 15, 1971, President Richard Nixon announced the end of the gold standard, effectively ending the Bretton Woods system and reshaping the global economy. He announced, "I have directed Secretary Connolly to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold or other reserve assets." With those words, President Nixon effectively ended the gold standard, a system that had been in place for decades and tied the value of the US dollar to a fixed amount of gold. The decision to abandon the gold standard was a bold move that gave policymakers more flexibility in managing monetary policy. But it also marked the beginning of a new era of floating exchange rates and increased volatility in global financial markets. Regardless of its controversial nature, Nixon's decision paved the way for a new era of economic policy and reshaped the international monetary system. Number 6, Atari released Pong in November 1972, marking the birth of the video game industry. This simple yet addictive game paved the way for the digital entertainment revolution. Pong became the world's first commercially successful video game. Developed by Atari co-founder Nolan Bushnell and engineer Al Alcorn, Pong simulated a game of table tennis, with two players controlling paddles on either side of the screen. Nolan Bushnell said, "We wanted to create a simple, yet engaging game that could be enjoyed by anyone." And Al Alcorn was quoted to have said, "Little did we know that Pong would become a cultural phenomenon and lay the groundwork for the entire video game industry." It wasn't long before Pong was adapted to be used at home, further fueling its popularity and solidifying Atari's place in gaming history. Today, Pong remains a beloved classic, remembered as the game that started it all and laid the foundation for the multi-billion-dollar video game industry. Even though Pong's graphics were basic, there was something magical about the gameplay that kept everyone coming back for more. So, the next time you pick up a controller or swipe your screen, remember the humble beginnings of Pong, a game that changed the world one paddle at a time. Number 5, on July 20, 1976, NASA's Viking 1 lander became the first spacecraft to successfully land on Mars, capturing stunning images and conducting groundbreaking scientific experiments. In the midst of the space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, NASA embarked on a mission that would mark a significant milestone in the exploration of our solar system. Equipped with a suite of scientific instruments, including cameras, spectrometers, and a robotic arm, Viking 1 set out to study the Martian environment in unprecedented detail. Over the course of its mission, Viking 1 captured breathtaking images of the Martian landscape and conducted groundbreaking experiments to search for signs of life. Viking 1 provided us with our first up-close look at Mars and revolutionized our understanding of the red planet's geology and atmosphere. Although Viking 1 didn't find direct evidence of life, its findings laid the groundwork for future missions to explore the possibility of life on the red planet. The legacy of Viking 1 lives on in the ongoing exploration of Mars, with robotic rovers and landers continuing to uncover the mysteries of the red planet. Viking 1 paved the way for future missions to boldly go where no human has gone before. Number 4, the world's first successful personal computer, the Altair 8800, was released in 1975. It kick-started the home computing revolution and laying the groundwork for the digital age. It was created by a company called Microinstrumentation and Telemetry Systems Incorporated. Ed Roberts, one of the two founders, said of the Altair 8800, "We wanted to create a computer that was affordable and accessible to hobbyists and enthusiasts." The Altair 8800 was truly a breakthrough in terms of its compact size and affordability. Priced at just $395, the Altair 8800 came in kit form and required assembly by the user. But what it lacked in user-friendliness, it made up for in raw computing power. Equipped with an Intel 8080 microprocessor and 256 bytes of memory, the Altair 8800 was capable of performing basic computing tasks and running simple programs. The Altair 8800 was a game-changer. It allowed people to explore the world of programming and computing in ways never thought possible. It was like having a window into the future, a glimpse of the digital revolution that was yet to come. Despite its limited capabilities, the Altair 8800 captured the imagination of tech enthusiasts around the world and inspired a new generation of computer hobbyists. And while it may seem primitive by today's standards, the Altair 8800 laid the foundation for the personal computer revolution that would transform the world in the decades to come. So let us remember the Altair 8800, the humble beginnings of a digital revolution that continues to shape our world to this day. Number 3, Star Wars premiered on May 25, 1977, forever changing the landscape of cinema and pop culture. This epic space opera captivated audiences and spawned a massive franchise. A long time ago, in a decade not so far away, a cinematic masterpiece was born, one that would captivate audiences and change the landscape of cinema forever. Set against the backdrop of an intergalactic conflict between the forces of good and evil, Star Wars introduced audiences to a rich universe filled with iconic characters, dazzling special effects, and an unforgettable score. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, said, "I wanted to create a modern myth that would resonate with audiences of all ages, a timeless story of heroism, adventure, and hope." From its groundbreaking visual effects to its epic storytelling, Star Wars captured the imaginations of millions and became a cultural phenomenon. Number 2, the iconic music festival, Woodstock, took place from August 15 to 18, 1970, attracting over 400,000 people for a weekend of peace, love, and music in a dairy farm in Bethel, upstate New York. The music, the atmosphere, the sense of community, it was all electric. Featuring legendary acts like Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, The Who, and Santana, Woodstock was more than just a music festival, it was a cultural milestone that defined a generation. Woodstock represented a moment of hope and optimism during a turbulent time in American history. It showed the world what could be achieved when people come together. So, as we look back on the legacy of Woodstock, let us remember the spirit of unity and harmony that defined this historic event, a beacon of hope and inspiration for generations to come. And finally, number 1, in 1973, the first handheld mobile phone call was made by Martin Cooper, a Motorola engineer. This historic moment marked the beginning of the mobile communications revolution. In the early 1970s, the concept of a handheld mobile phone was nothing more than science fiction, a futuristic dream that seemed out of reach. But on April 3, 1973, Motorola engineer Martin Cooper made history when he placed the world's first handheld mobile phone call. Martin Cooper is quoted to have said of that moment, "I remember standing on a New York City sidewalk, holding a prototype Motorola Dyna-TAC, and making a call to our competitors at Bell Labs. It was a moment of triumph." Weighing in at over 2 pounds and measuring nearly 10 inches long, the Motorola Dyna-TAC was a far cry from today's sleek smartphones. But despite its bulky design, the Dyna-TAC represented a major breakthrough in telecommunications technology. Martin Cooper's vision and ingenuity laid the groundwork for an entirely new way of connecting people, no matter where they were. Because of his pioneering work, mobile phones have become an indispensable part of modern life, enabling us to stay connected wherever we go. So the next time you pick up your smartphone, take a moment to remember the historic call made by Martin Cooper, a call that changed the world forever. And there you have it. The top 10 fun facts of the 1970s. Thanks for watching. Like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. Let us know in the comments what you'd like to see next. Bye for now and take good care. And now you know.